So this is the second day after I put the vinegar into the tank. I'm not quite sure how many hours that is, but I've opened it up here. I'm just going to give you a quick look. You can see that there's a lot of stuff floating about in there in the water. Maybe not as much as I expected there to be, so I'm wondering, did adding that little bit of water affect it a bit maybe? And it's maybe not doing the job as good as what it would if I hadn't added water. Not sure. I'm going to get a little bit of a toothbrush and I'm going to start rubbing a bit of it around this rim, try and get it to clean it a bit. It looks a bit it's a wee bit rusty, so we'll see if that has any effect. For now, this is what you're seeing, guys. There's a lot of bits of stuff in there, and it's obviously doing something, but maybe not just as much as what I like. I guess we'll find out whenever we empty it and give it a good cleaning out with a power hose or something. But for now, that's what results I'm getting. So there you are. On a good note though, postage is always good. I always enjoy opening these packages, and this came today, and I found this online. These parts can't be got new anymore. This was a new old stock, so this company had this new old stock one, and it was a brand new light for backlight for one of these bikes, as you can see, and it's perfect condition, spanking new. So I was very pleased to get that. That'll add a lot to the looks of the bike whenever it's finished. And I'm just going to wrap it up in its bubble wrap again, put it back in the box to protect it. But just to show you, this is the back of the bike, and this is the light that's on it at the moment. Somebody has had to seal it here, you see, because there's a chip. And there's a couple of chips out of it all over the place along there, along the back and that. And it looks like, from other models I've seen, from other photographs of these bikes, that it was quite a common thing to happen to them. So yeah, quite happy to get that. So there you are. Well, it's now day 3 from I put in the vinegar into the tank, and we're going to check and see how we're getting on. Well, it's actually the end of the first day that I put the vinegar in the tank, so you could say it was really 2 days and a night. So we'll just check and see how we're getting on, although I feel that the water that I put into the vinegar may have affected how good a job it's doing. Don't know if you can see that, but we've got some stuff there. There's definitely lifting some stuff, so it is anyway. Lifted a bit of the cap there. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do tonight. I've bought myself some bread soda, and I'm going to pour it into the tank, and hopefully that'll help things along a little bit. And maybe if I can find a little sacrificial piece of metal around this place somewhere, I'll try the electrolysis for the night and see how we get on. Okay, we'll with you in a second or two whenever I do all this. Okay, so this could be messy. Could be a messy job, this, but we'll see what we can do. It's all foaming up. There's nearly too much water in the tank already. Yeah, maybe I ought to empty a bit out to do this. Just give me a minute and I'll be back in a minute whenever I pour a tiny bit of this water out. Okay, so I poured a little bit of the water out, as you can see. And I don't know if you can see inside the lip there. It's starting to look quite clean. And I'd say just with a rub of the finger, The rust will come off that pretty simple, and it is coming off quite simply. So our vinegar appears to be doing its job. It just needs a helping hand, you know, something to rub the tank with. I'm going to pour some of this in anyway, and it's going to foam up a bit. There's a big load of it in there now. Let it dissolve, and then I'll put some more in. Can actually hear it working in the tank there. Pour a bit more in. I'm going to put a fair bit into this if I can. Because there's a fair bit of vinegar in there. It's mostly vinegar, not water. Mostly vinegar. There's only a litre of water in it, and there's like 10 litres of vinegar in it. So I've heard this bread soda really makes a difference and eats away at rust and stuff. So you can see the blobs of rust starting to come up from the bottom of the tank now. So it's definitely doing something. I may have to top it up with water when I'm done with this. Oops. That was a little bit too much. Nah, it doesn't matter, it'll dissolve in a few minutes anyway. Not to worry. Wonder if I just stuck this down on top and you can hear it there working away. So I think I put in a good quarter of the can there, so that's more than enough, because they tell you that a couple of tablespoons is usually enough for it. So that's what I'm gonna leave it at, and hopefully we'll get some results. And even the top of the tank, where I put a toothbrush around it, is starting to look a bit cleaner now. You know, I'd say if I got that little brush at that again now, a lot of that rust would just lift off there. If I can find my little brush, there it is there. Let's have a go at it and see what it does. Don't worry about the paint work, I'm going to be repainting this bike, assuming I can get decals reproduced for it. They don't just make them because there's not many of these bikes around, so I do have a friend who works at this sort of thing, signs and all that, and he says he might be able to reproduce them, so fingers crossed he can do it, and then I can spray the bike, but I'm not spraying it unless I have them. So let's see how clean that came up. Ah, well, that's miles better, isn't it? Miles better. And there's the baking soda at work. Reacting with the vinegar as well, so hopefully it does a good job. and I may, just for kicks, try the electrolysis. I'll be back in a wee while once I have the electrolysis set up and I've found a piece of steel to use with it, so see you in a wee while. Okay, so I've set up the electrolysis here, and you'll see what I've done. I've got this old bit of a brush shaft, bit of an old steel one, and peeled the powder coat off it. And what I have done is I've stuck insulating tape on the bottom so that it doesn't make contact with the bottom of the tank here, because it's quite shallow. And I've cut a bit of a Lucozade bottle just so that the edges don't make contact with the tank. Now the only thing that could hamper this working is the size of my charger. It's only a little trickle charger, so it's all I have. It's just, I'm just gonna have to work with this for now to see, does it make any difference. I'll come back in an hour or two and see how we're getting on. So bye for now. And today we got post. I don't know what's in it, but we're about to find out. So just give me a moment. It's very hard to film things. I'm going to have to get a good camera for this, for doing this. Can you see that? Yep. Okay. Let's open it up. I've been buying that many parts, bits and pieces. Could be anything. Just rip through this with the screwdriver for a second. By the way, I'm always open to anyone's opinion on things, so don't be afraid to drop me comments on my videos if you feel that what you say can be a help to me, so don't be afraid of that. This is actually a motor for a drone that I've been doing up. I've been doing up a little Mavic 2 Zoom drone that unfortunately fell into water. I bought it on eBay. I had another one of my own that fell into water, which is now working, but I bought this one just as a little project, and that's a motor for it, so happy to get that. But I won't be working on it for a little while, so I'll put this away up in the cupboard for me. Okay, so thanks for watching, guys. So I came back out into the shed to check on whether the electrolysis was starting to work or not, and it didn't really seem to have any effect whatsoever. So I decided I needed more current, so I took the battery out of my little City Express here, which I'm also restoring. Great little bike, by the way, runs very well. And I hooked it up to the charger, and I hooked 2 wires coming from the battery, because the battery has 12 volts on it at least, going to this here. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. You can see the fizzing away there, but it was fizzing away anyway with the bread soda, so I don't know if this is making much of an addition, but let's hope so. I'll come out in another hour or two and check it again. It might be in the next video when you see that though. Okay, see you later.